Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into some source material that, well, it looks like poetry on the surface, but when you dig in, it's really this fascinating psychological blueprint. We're talking about the lyrics for Alison McLean's song, Revival.
Yeah, that's right. These lyrics, they almost function less like a typical song and more like uh, a structured philosophical text.
Yeah.
It's quite complete, actually. A framework that maps out a path from feeling really disoriented to achieving, well, a pretty radical state of self-agency.
So our mission today isn't about the music, really. It's to dive deep into the arguments McLean is actually making here about personal change. What's the core idea? The mechanism she's suggesting for shifting your life away from feeling like a victim of circumstance.
Towards feeling empowered by choice, yeah.
Exactly.
And what really jumps out right away is how relentlessly focused the text is on the internal. It starts by laying out this situation of, emotional, maybe spiritual paralysis. That's the problem. But then it pivots almost instantly to a very active, present tense solution. It's just a powerful way of saying, look, external chaos, that doesn't mean you have to resign yourself internally.
Okay, let's start there then. With that initial diagnosis in the first verse, it really sets the scene quite clearly. Such a lack of faith and need for direction. That feeling, that sense of being unmoored, lacking a compass or a plan, it's instantly relatable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That phrase puts you right in that state of seeking something. But the lyrics, they don't let you linger there. The solution comes up almost immediately. It suggests that even when you feel lost, the key mechanism for finding meaning is already there. It's living life through love and deep connection.
Right, and this is where the core argument really starts to take root, I think. Because right after diagnosing that feeling of being lost, the lyrics hit you with this idea of internal responsibility. The line is, effects of our own perception.
And what's fascinating there is how quickly it just pulls the rug out from under blaming external factors. It says the effects, what we experience of the world, are being filtered, shaped by our perception. In psychological terms, this is placing the locus of control squarely inside the individual.
The locus of control, right.
Yeah. The problem isn't just out there, it's also how we choose to see it, how we frame it. If you think everything's down to fate or other people, that's an external locus. McLean is demanding you adopt an internal one.
That's a really powerful distinction.
Okay.
But if the whole point is self-agency, taking control of perception, then those final lines of the first verse, they feel like a bit of a curveball, a real challenge. It ends with this paradox. When we all doubt, it may be better to surrender. And then, there is no proof in believing in something better.
Okay, yeah, if we connect this back to the bigger theme of internal agency, this moment is absolutely crucial. The lyrics acknowledge that yes, widespread doubt, existential doubt, it's real when we all doubt. And it states very plainly, trying to fight to find proof that a better future is guaranteed, that's futile. The text essentially says, stop struggling for evidence you won't find.
But wait, doesn't surrender just completely contradict the whole idea of revival and actively managing yourself? It sounds like giving up.
That's a great question. It really gets to the heart of what surrender means here. It's being redefined. It's not surrendering your goals, not your future. It's surrendering the need for certainty right now, in this present moment. You accept the reality that, yes, there's doubt. Because fighting that reality, that's exhausting. It's actually passive.
Oh, okay.
So the lyrics seem to propose you have to first accept the current lack of certainty before you can proactively build anything. That acceptance is like the necessary first step to move forward.
Okay, I see. So accepting the ambiguity of the present clears the way, sets the stage for the action that follows. And that action is laid out right in the chorus, which is, it's undeniably the heartbeat of the song, isn't it?
Absolutely. The chorus defines the two main mental stories, the narratives, that have to be completely dropped before any revival can even start. It tells us, point blank, stop playing victim and fear of survival. These two roles, the passive sufferer and the constant worrier, those are the emotional walls blocking progress.
Yeah, they're huge mental roadblocks. The victim role, it's kind of comfortable because you can blame everything else, right? And the fear of survival, that constant anxiety, it's almost addictive. It feels like you're always preparing, always vigilant. The lyrics demand you just stop both immediately. That's a massive psychological ask.
It is a massive ask. And notice the lyrics say, these are roles we play.
Yeah.
They're performed narratives, not who we inherently are. Playing victim, running scared, that takes energy. The text says stop putting energy there.
And the response. The way to break that inertia, it's defined as immediate, joyful, even physical. Let us dance and sing our own revival.
And that phrase, our own revival, is critical, non-negotiable. This isn't about waiting for someone or something else to save you. It's a declaration of self-initiation. The revival is presented as a choice, and it's an activity happening now, dance song, that implies joy, connection, embodiment.
Okay.
It establishes that this internal revolution, it's a choice we make right now. We don't wait for proof. We don't wait for permission.
Okay, so verse 1 sets up the need for internal perception. The chorus demands we drop fear and victimhood. So verse 2 must be the how-to guide, right? The manual.
Yeah.
It seems to shift entirely to the mechanics of change, the actual tools we use for this self-started revival.
Exactly. The text highlights the influence we actually possess, starting with the timing. This present moment is full of potential. And then, here are the tools. Our thoughts and words are so influential. It establishes, okay, the present, that's the only place you can start, and your internal story, thoughts, and your external declarations, words, those are the building blocks.
Okay, so if thoughts and words are the currency, the next instruction is all about cognitive control.
Correct.
We're told to open the doors of our mind, navigate the brain, and demystify time. Let's pause on that one. Navigate the brain. What does that even mean? It sounds like really intense, ongoing mental work. It's like mapping.
It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? And very active. Navigate the brain suggests taking executive control of your own mental processes. So instead of just being carried along by automatic reactions, old fears, those ingrained loops of victimhood, you become the pilot.
Right.
It's about actively choosing which thoughts, which pathways to strengthen, and which ones to let go of. It's the conscious application of that internal locus of control we talked about earlier.
Okay, and if we're navigating the mind, we also have to tackle maybe the most complex concept here. Demystify time. How do the lyrics suggest we take this huge abstract mess of past regrets and future worries and make it manageable?
Yeah, demystify time. I think it means reducing its overwhelming complexity down to something immediate, something governable. When time feels like a mystery, it generates anxiety, right? What happened? What if it happens again? What's coming? The lyrics seem to suggest stripping away that abstract fear by focusing only on the present moment, which, remember, they just defined as full of potential.
Oh,
You can't really navigate the past or the future directly. You can only navigate this moment. So that's how you take something huge and abstract like time and make it small, make it actionable.
This definitely clarifies the steps in the journey. But let's look at the end of verse 2. After all this intense self-piloting, navigating the brain, demystifying time, the text comes back to that idea of acceptance and surrender. It says, play in acceptance and surrender.
Yes. This is the synthesis. This brings it all together. The lyrics are arguing, I think, that peace doesn't come from fighting reality. Peace comes from proactively mastering your internal world. That's the navigating the brain part, and then accepting the external reality you can't change. And notice the word play. You're asked to play in acceptance. That suggests a kind of playful, fluid, non-resistant way of engaging with life.
So the peace mentioned right at the end, there's so much peace as it all comes together that isn't where you start, it's a result. The outcome of successfully using those influential thoughts and words to navigate your inner world.
Precisely. That feeling of coherence where it all comes together, that's the payoff for the active mental work described. It's the reward for dropping the victim role, for embracing cognitive control. It's also the philosophical answer to that paradox in verse 1. You surrender the need for external proof, then you apply full internal agency, and the result, peace.
Okay, stepping back now, putting it all together. We see this really powerful and maybe difficult thematic journey. It moves from recognizing you lack direction to making this radical choice to drop fear and victimhood.
Right.
Then to actively mentally managing your own consciousness.
The navigation part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Culminating in this state of holistic peace.
And that whole framework, it gets hammered home by the repetition, doesn't it? That core command. The insistent, almost like a rallying cry, stop playing victim and fear of survival. It's in the chorus, it's reinforced in the outro. It tells us, look, these two mindsets are the main roadblocks. Get those out of the way.
Can you create space?
Exactly. You create the space for connection, for internal navigation, and ultimately for peace. It's a message saying agency isn't really about struggling to control everything outside you. It's about choosing not to suffer passively inside.
So, for you, the listener, thinking about this, what are the core actionable insights we can really distill from McLean's framework here? What's the blueprint for this self-revival she's talking about?
Well, I think the lyrics offer a kind of manifesto, built on maybe two main pillars. First, there's behavioral reform. You have to consciously abandon that easy role of the passive sufferer. You literally stop playing victim. And second, there's cognitive mastery. You have to proactively and even joyfully shape your inner world, your thoughts, your perception. How? By navigating your own consciousness, like we discussed. Rather than just waiting around for external proof or direction to show up, the revival is something you choose to dance and sing into existence now, using your current self as the raw material that needs shaping.
That really is a deep dive into self-agency. We've pulled out the necessity of, well, challenging that internal fear and really embracing the influential power we have through our own perception, our own words.
Yeah. And maybe I can leave you with this final thought, something to chew on, based directly on the source material. If the lyrics insist our words and thoughts are so influential, and we're commanded to use them for our own cognitive navigation, think about how often we actually use our words to name our fears or to reinforce our sense of victimhood. So, what potential might be unleashed when we actively, intentionally define the ultimate goal as our own revival? How does simply naming that goal change the potential of this very present moment?
Something to think about. Until next time.